Hey guys, wanted to have a little discussion about why I think this knife outperformed the XM18 to the degree it did. So for those of you who haven't seen it, I did do a cut test with both of these knives. Both were pretty much identical in terms of edge finish and geometry. Now, I'm not talking about grind geometry, I'm talking edge geometry. And this guy went for 500 cuts through 3/8 inch sisal rope. And then this guy only made it through 360. So what exactly happened? Well, it was weird. I've actually never had this happen in a test before, but this knife would still kind of cut paper, but it couldn't make it through the rope. And that's because this guy is so thick behind the edge. Let's see if I can demonstrate that. I mean, you guys know how thick hinderers are, but this almost reminds me of like a K-bar, BK9, that 9-inch fixed blade. Like that's kind of the level of behind the edge thickness that we're looking at here. So the whole test I was kind of in pain. Just because, and no, I didn't sharpen the edge or clean the edge. It actually went in my pocket today for EDC. It's got some tape on it. But, what was I going to say? Yeah, this whole knife was sort of painful for me, and mostly because of how much force I had to exert onto the rope in order to make the cut. Whereas this knife was pretty much a walk in the park. Even with the blisters I got from this knife, from that terrible jimping, super comfortable. And that kind of leads me to this discussion of what were these knives made for. This is kind of like whatever you want it to do, it'll do it. It's not going to do anything amazingly well, but it'll do just about anything. Whereas this knife is a cutting tool that'll last you for fucking ever. This knife does not start to thicken up behind the edge until like maybe 5-6 millimeters in. So, I mean, you can sharpen off 6 millimeters of this knife and still have the same behind the edge thickness. Now, that won't maintain all the way to the tip, but it is still relevant. This knife, on the other hand, you're looking at a saber grind, and it'll thicken up fairly quickly. And I intend to demonstrate exactly why this knife isn't any less capable. Maybe you make some sacrifices with cutting performance, but I'm gonna do some demonstrations showing why that was done, and just kind of, I think, brushing on why I think Chris Reeve why Rick Hinderer makes knives the way he does. And I think there is a very specific reason behind it. And then I'm also going to make a video on well, pretty much I'm going to go over the trifecta, Hinderer, Chris Reeve, and Strider, and just make a video about what I think about them. It's going to be sort of similar to what Vinny did, or Nero Knives, in his video. With a little bit of discrepancies in there, or not discrepancies, maybe just ideas that don't fully line up, but stay tuned for that. And yeah, guys, definitely two knives made for entirely different things. This knife would still cut paper, but it was unable to make it through the rope. That's why I ended the test when I did. Sorry about this background, guys. It's actually kind of, it's not sticky, it's a stainless steel backdrop. So, yeah, I don't know, it's weird. But, yeah, so, gonna be putting a video out showing what this really excels at. And then this is just all, like, meant to be an all-around good cutting tool. Perfect size, perfect blade shape, can't really argue with it. It's just sort of like an out-of-the-park knife. So is this. And the Strider. The Strider kind of meets these two in the middle, almost. which a lot of people don't realize, but I think that's the case, and I'm going to make some strong arguments in my Strider video as to why I think that is. But yeah, if any of that stuff sounds interesting to you guys, stay tuned. It's going to be coming up here in the next couple of days. All right, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.